Welcome to the Build Your Coaching Business Around the 9 to 5 podcast. I'm your coach, Pamela Pritchard, and I help you go from employee to business owner. Whether you're creating your first client or learning how to create clients on repeat whilst holding down your day job, I'll help you make your business dreams a reality. Let's begin. Alrighty, coming in hot with the lives and the podcast episodes. It's just the vibe. We're going into the year strong and I'm enjoying it. At the end of the day, going live, talking to you, it's one of my favorite things to do. So that's why you're seeing a lot of me at the moment. And long may it continue. Okay, I just need to let everybody know, if you saw my story, I did trip on the treadmill. And yes, it is probably the single most embarrassing moment, possibly of my life, or at least at the gym, because I just remembered also that I did get hit with a baseball in the face last year. If you've been in my world a little while, then you may remember that. So yeah, it's fun being a 3-line, those of you who know human design. So I'm okay, I'm recovered. I didn't actually fall. I just tripped and I caught myself, but like my whole body, my whole being was a little bit shaken up. Um, and that was, yeah, embarrassing. But hey, alas, we continue. I think as somebody who's a somewhat regular gym goer, I'm glad it just hasn't happened sooner and it hasn't happened worse. And also now it's happened, then it's done. I've checked that off the list of experiences to hopefully never wish upon anyone in their lifetime. So why am I jumping online today? I I was thinking about this in the gym, and it wasn't thinking about this in the moment that I tripped, but it's been on my mind. And the reason I was thinking about this topic is because this example has come up with my clients and I wanted to speak to it. As you know, Thrive group has just started. The doors are still open if you want to jump in. But I also have one-to-ones, and this came up with a one-to-one client, and it's come up in the past. And you know what? I've seen it meet with me. And I think one of the most incredible things you can learn to develop as a business owner, as the life coach business owner that you are, is to really contemplate and discern what is happening or not happening in your business. And it's a perfect time of year to do that. And I know that many of you are taking the time, making the effort to show up, to build a community, an audience, some kind of following, maybe subscribers, maybe listeners. Maybe you've had people like join a webinar or a workshop and then they didn't buy. And you had a sneaky suspicion that they were like hanging out in your world and they were engaged with you and you're thinking, what's going on? And with my client who this happened to recently, she literally said to me that she's had it in both ways, and I wanted to share both examples with you because they're both really good examples. I'll give you one where the outcome was positive and one where the outcome was negative, but it's the same topic. And so there's going to be a few ways and a few angles in which we discuss this, but the issue was, and it was so interesting how this came up in the same session. She said one of her consults messaged her and said, look, I've ended up already hiring someone, so I'm going to cancel this consult. And man, that sucks. Like, it's one thing to not know when people are hiring, and obviously, you don't know what people are doing behind closed doors. Like, it's a good thing that we don't know, but it's another to be told, and to be told that it's someone else. And she had to experience that for the first time and process what came up for her for the first time. And we did that in the coaching session and navigated what she was making that mean, where we could improve things in her process, in her consult process, in the time it was taking people to be able to book with her and then actually meet with her and make that decision. But also what compelled that client to book and want to explore working with her, only to then find another coach that has done that. And as I say that out loud, actually, I'm now remembering one of the things that a client said to me this was probably at the beginning of last year. And she said to me, I would have, this is so interesting. I would have worked with you sooner, but I ended up having a consult with a coach who'd offered me a free session, but it turned into a sales call. And then I felt pressured to buy, and I did. And now I'm out of that commitment, and now I'm ready to hire you. And I remember at the time, this I wasn't planning to speak about this, but this is where my brain is taking it right now. And I remember at the time thinking, wow, like, I'm really glad that I don't do consults like that. My consults are not pressure filled. I do not teach my clients how to do pressure or scarcity or false urgency or like just pushing or forcing a sale. We don't do scripts when you learn how to do consults the way I do them. So I thought, holy fuck, like that's intense, and how awful. And I've also had that experience in the past as well. And even though if you've listened to the investor series, I take full responsibility of my investments, and I have a very specific mindset around that. So do check out the episode. I think it's called Investor Regrets and Remorse. So if you've ever experienced any flavor of that, then definitely go have a listen. But this came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay, well, we need to look at that process and what's happening in your consults and what's not happening, but also in your messaging. Because if your client or potential client was that compelled to book a consult with you, to explore working with you, and then they ended up taking a redirect, then there we need to see where you can take control of that and take control of that. So the reason I give this example is because one of the skills that I help my clients develop and that I've got really good at developing is being able to look at what is happening, what isn't happening in my business, and look at it through a really discerning eye with personal compassion, but strategic discernment on what actually could I have improved? Where can I take responsibility and control? And that is a skill to develop. So when you see that a client has hired someone else, or you just know there are people in your audience who are like ideal and they're showing up in some way, like there are hints, there are clues. And you're thinking, I wonder, like I do wonder, but also you don't want to do the DM thing because I fucking hate that too. And well, at least cold DMs, like it's different having conversations with people if you're already in dialogue with them. But it's another just to like cold DM people. I don't teach that. I don't do that myself. I'm not about that life. I've also just got too much shit to do, and I'm not interested in doing that kind of business building. But sometimes you just have this like idea that some people are in your sphere and you're thinking, I know I could help them. I see them. And what's going on here? Like, where is the gap? And one of the things that came through with my client, and I'll be honest here, there are a number of things that could be happening. But one of the things that came through is this: lean in. It is that she wasn't speaking about client results. And because she wasn't speaking about client results, her clients weren't seeing her as the coach of choice. Those of you inside my one-to-one, inside Thrive Group, inside Messaging Mastery, you know about my philosophy on the coach of choice. Those of you who don't know, it is a concept that I teach inside my programs about really leaning into your self-concept as the coach of choice for your clients. And one of the ways that you do that, and one of the things that I teach inside Messaging Mastery that's inside all my programs, is knowing how to speak to client results. So when you're not doing this enough, your clients, as much as they may already like you, as much as they already may already trust you as a person, as much as they already may know you and enjoy your emails, your podcast, your workshops, your social media, or whatever it is, whatever way you engage with your people regularly, if they're not seeing you as the coach of choice, and one of the big things that you're missing in that is speaking about the results that you can help them get, then they're not going to see you as the coach that they want to hire. And they will hire someone else. Because when you think about it, the person you are speaking to, the person you are marketing to, the person you are showing up for, every single time you do show up in your business, it is with the person in mind who wants what you have to offer, who is like literally chomping at the bit to find a solution to their problem and are fully in the readiness of, okay, if I see something that actually I want, I'm going to have it, I'm going to go for it. And if you're not talking about your client results, then why would they hire you? It doesn't mean they don't like you. It doesn't mean they don't know you. It doesn't mean they don't trust you as a person, but do they trust you with their problems? Do they trust you to get the solution that they want, to get to what they actually desire? Probably not yet if you're not talking about it. These are the reasons why I see most coaches aren't talking about the results. This is really important. So listen in and be onto yourself about which of these it is for you that has you holding back from talking more directly about the client results that you get your clients. So I've written them down here. So I want to make sure that I capture them all. Number one, you think it's their responsibility to implement the coaching. So you don't put as much emphasis on the results that they can achieve because you think that that's a them issue and not a you issue. And that is an incorrect line of thinking. I think when it comes to that, and I'm not going to necessarily go into the training on this right now, I want you just to deeply become aware of the ways that this is subtly showing up for you. But I will speak on each briefly because otherwise that would be shitty and mean of me. So I'm going to dive into it a little bit. When you think it's their responsibility to implement the coaching, you're not taking radical responsibility for the results you get your clients, like duh, but also your coaching ability, your the value that you place on the results that you give them. Like you're basically bypassing the responsibility you have as the coach. That isn't the vibe. Of course, nobody's going to hire you if you're not owning the responsibility of that. Number two, you don't know what results your clients get. Now, again, be onto yourself. For you, it might be like a blanket. I'm really not sure. Like, I love to coach, but I don't really know what the result is. For many of you, though, it's more like getting to the nuance of the result, getting to the specificity of the result. Like you see that a breakthrough happens in a coaching session, but you don't necessarily see the aftermath of that. So you're not necessarily seeing how it then plays out tangibly in their life, in their day to day. So when you're not capturing this information, B, even just contemplating or putting your brain to work to become cognizant of this information and this data, you're missing it completely. Or you're in like a well, how do I say this? I don't know what results my clients get. It's like I don't know, like you just haven't gone there yet in your line of thinking. And that's okay too. Like sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and this is something for you to contemplate and start really bringing through. I'm going to go through a couple of reasons why these problems are occurring for you, but I want you just to notice if these are the reasons you're not talking about results yet. The big one I see is that you don't want to make a promise that you don't think is realistic or really the promise that they want. And this is like one that I have a lot of respect for. Like I've even had this. I've coached on this very recently myself. I often have to redirect my brain and remember that yeah, my client coaches what fucking life coach doesn't want to make 100K, 200K, a million. And many of the coaches who work with me say to me that they really respect the fact that I'm not about talking about the money. But I do make it clear when we work together. Hi, Ellen. When we work together, you will make money, you will sign clients. But the rate and the pace of that, when you are less than 10, 20, 30, even 40K revenue in your business, is probably not going to be at a comparable level to a 100K coach. So the clients who come into my world, they absolutely have the goal of 100K or 150K or beyond, but they also recognize that that for them is probably a 2, 3, maybe even 4-year vision. And I often have the conversation. It's part of my eyes wide open philosophy I spoke about, I think, in the last live, that when clients come to me and they're like, oh, I found coaching a year ago, or I found coaching longer than a year ago, but I only just certified, or I'm still in certification and I've only just started showing up on social media, or I've been showing up on social media for a year, but I've never actually had an offer that I've fully said, I'm fucking selling this thing and I'm going to learn how to do it. Then it doesn't matter how long technically you found coaching, whether that was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, decades ago, even. If today is the first day that you're actually taking business seriously, then this is the day that you're really measuring yourself against. So that's an example of how that has shown up in my business. The way that I see this show up in my clients' businesses is like, I've worked with body confidence coaches who have grappled with the challenge of, well, my clients want to lose weight. That's what they ultimately want. But I also know, as in the coach is saying this, I also know that that isn't the point, because I want them to learn to love their body. And so when you feel that there is an incongruence between what you think your clients want and care about and what you actually want to talk about and care about, and then you feel wobbly in that, then there is an incongruence there. And that incongruence will leak into the confidence that you have in your marketing and your messaging and your ability to even have a powerful conversation with someone on a sales call. Because if you don't know how to bridge their wants with what you know they actually need, then of course there's going to be a mismatch and they're not going to buy from you. And they're going to go and hire the person who is able to match those things. Same with my career coaches or transition coaches. It's like, I know that what they're really looking for and what they really need is to connect to their authentic self. What they really need is to connect to their purpose. What they really need is to connect to their fulfillment. But they think they want a career change. They think that they want to do tangible things. Or um, what's another one I see a lot? Like my general life coaches who help their clients just feel better, but they also think that that isn't sexy enough, or that isn't big enough, or that isn't tangible enough. So this incongruence, it leaks. It leaks in your confidence, in your self-concept, in your messaging, makes you start to question your offer, your niche. And then, of course, you're not signing clients and then moving on to the person who has nailed this and has figured this out. The fourth one is, and I kind of mentioned it, but this then, if I promise a tangible result, if I do go there, then I'm worried I'm going to get the wrong people into my programs, because they're going to be, let's use the weight loss example. All I'm going to get is people who want the weight loss and aren't interested in the mindset and aren't interested in the like body confidence, who aren't interested in true self empowerment and connection, and they will miss the point. Again, it's that incongruence. And this, in some ways, is a messaging issue. But in order to solve the messaging issue, we don't go to messaging. We have to look at your self concept and your offer first. And then the fifth one is, I simply don't know how. So you have client results, you've been able to write them down and articulate them in your own mind. But when it comes to actually translating that into a post, into a podcast, into an email, whatever your medium is, it doesn't matter. My clients have all sorts of platforms and different marketing and sales strategies. But if you don't know how to share the results and communicate it in a way that is done repetitively and done where it matters as well, like making sure you're putting the results in places where your clients are going to care about the result and see the result, then you're missing out. So it's possible you're sat on the landmine or the gold mine of everything you need to sign a client, and you're just not doing it. You're not using it because you're not sure how to put it into your message. And so there are probably a lot of people already in your audience right now, under your nose, who could be hiring you today. And this tiny tweak in results, in really knowing your results, capturing your results, communicating your results, owning the results that you get for your clients, is you're missing out. It's causing you to miss out. And when we look at that and how that compounds over the year, the risk is, like, I've had clients say to me, this year cannot be like last year. I'm proud of last year, but the only way is forward. And for some, it's like, wow, okay, this is brand new news for me, and this is just something I need to start implementing. But for those of you who have already been in the game a while, you're already writing the content, you're already putting yourself out there, this is like level 2.0. But is it as simple as just saying it in your messaging? In some ways, fuck yeah, like it really is. Like, it isn't rocket science. Like, this is something that you can go away and implement today. And my God, if you don't, I'll be mad. Okay. So go implement this. But also, there's a couple of really important things that set you up to speak about results really powerfully and really simply. But if you don't have these things in place, then even if you do speak about results, it still won't land. And these things are, if you're wobbly on your niche, on your offer, then if you're not clear on what what your offer is, like, you speak about results, but you're not convicted in what people are going to then hire you for, in terms of, okay, so they know what the result will be, but they don't see a process, they don't see this the systems involved, they don't understand, or you're not clear on, or you're selling so many things, they're not sure which one is most relevant to them. Like, maybe you're one of these people that has, like, a little introductory pack so that people can kind of get a taster or get a feel for you. And then you have this 3 or 6 month offer that you secretly really want to be selling. And you're wondering why no one's buying, even though you're talking about result. It's because your offers are confusing them. They don't know, well, they just want the result. So which is it? Is it the welcome offer or is it the 6 month offer? And a confused mind doesn't buy. I'm sure you've had this before. And so that being convoluted in your offers, having too many things on your offer suite. And it's not that you don't ever have an offer suite. You will have an offer suite, but like I say, if you're earning 0 or 10, 20, 30K in your business, all-time revenue or last year's revenue, then it's too soon for you to have an offer suite. You need to learn how to sell one thing to begin with. So it's the offer, it's the niche. The other thing is, if you're charging too high or too low for the results that you're communicating, then that can cause an incongruence. And so pricing matters. And when you understand how to price your offers in a way that are congruent to the results that you offer so that they match, that means that a client is going to come along, or a potential client is going to come along. They're going to be looking for someone who can help them. Maybe they didn't even know they were open to hiring a coach, but they have a problem, they want to solve it, and you're talking about it, and you're talking clearly about the results. And then the price doesn't add up. And you've either charged too low because you don't believe in yourself yet. And why would they believe in you? Or you've charged so high, but you don't believe that you're capable of actually delivering results at that level. And again, that incongruence, it's like a smell. Like, they are going to run a mile, and they do, and they hire someone else. And then this belief thing in and of itself, like, it shows in price, it shows in your decision around your niche, it shows in your offer, it shows in even just the messaging itself. Like, let's say you are communicating this stuff, you are telling people what the results are, then are you owning those results? Are you saying it with a bit of oomph? Are you saying it with a bit of, like, this is what it is? Like, yeah, this is what my clients get. this is it. Like, take it or leave it. Like, there has to be an element of truth. If you guys feel that you have to, what's the word here? What am I trying to say? If you feel like you have to um over exaggerate what you get your clients, or like over, yeah, oh my God, I'm missing the word. If you DM me if you're like, Pamela, this is what you're trying to say. But if you feel like you have to exaggerate, yeah, that's the word that's coming to me for now. It'll do. If you feel like you have to exaggerate how you help your clients in order for it to be sexy, then again, they're gonna feel that. And it shows because you don't believe in it. You don't believe what that's saying is you don't believe what you offer is enough. And look, I say this because I've this has been a big one for me, especially as a business coach who helps my clients make money. The reality is, if you're a coach that comes to me and you're saying to me, look, and I'm going to do another live on this or another episode on this, but I I actually was reviewing all of my consults from last year, and I saw this pattern with a number of people. And I remember thinking, oh, fuck. Like, in each concert, I remember thinking, this is interesting. Now that I look back in hindsight, I see a pattern. I'm like, okay, we need to be talking about this more overtly. So you secretly want 10, 12, 15K months. And you will say that to me in a consult. You'll be like, Pamela, this is what I want. I'm like, amazing. So if you're saying, let's just go with 10K for now. If you're telling me you want to create 10K months, and then I say to you, that means this year you're going to make 120K. Do you believe that's possible for you right now? And I physically see you like withdraw or like constrict, or you can't like solidly and with conviction say yes to me in response because you haven't like mathed energetically in your body that 10K months equals being a 120K coach. And that means operating as that now in order to achieve that over the year. That blows people's minds. That has blown a few of my clients' minds. And then it's like, I'm never here to limit you. I want you to do that. And I'm here with that eyes wide open philosophy to, this is therefore your higher self, your soul's calling to step into this embodiment. But we need to take that in the steps, in baby steps sometimes, because honestly, if you were there, then you'd be there. So belief is big. And the way I tend to speak about that in my programs is through CEO embodiment. And interestingly, in the Thrive Group welcome call, I found myself naturally saying soul embodiment. So CEO embodiment is in the context of your business, but as who you are as a person, that is soul embodiment. So there was a lot to unpack there, but it's not as simple as just, oh, speak more about client results and you'll hire more clients. Like, yes, and yes, and you need to be embodied in that. And you have to have belief. And you need to be really fucking clear on your offer and your niche. And you have to have a price that is aligned, otherwise known as all those business fundamentals that I'm always harping on about. So if you are entering the year and or whenever you're listening to this, but if you're listening to this thinking, okay, yeah, we've got some bits to work on, because that is a lot. There is a lot of dynamics. It's lots of dimensions to your business. Your things are never operating in isolation. Your business isn't in a little bubble. You have messaging over here. You've got the offer over there, the price over there, the CEO embodiment over here, the marketing strategy, the sales strategy. You've got managing consults, doing your workshops, starting your podcast, like whatever it is that you want to do in your business, none of it operates in a bubble. They all have an impact on the other. So yes, speak about client results. Yes, go implement that to fucking day. And if you still don't see clients coming in, or you secretly know that it isn't just talking about client results, but actually it's these fundamentals that need to be established, then come and join Thrive Group. It is the perfect place to do this. And Doors to this first round are closing in literally a couple of days. It's the 14th of January, 2025, my time zone, which is AEST Brisbane time. So for many of my clients who are in Europe and Americas, and Canada's, and that side of the of the globe, um, it closes on the 13th of January. So I'm a day ahead than you. So get in now. When you join, remember you get instant access to all of the training, and that means you can jump straight into messaging mastery and jump straight into talking about client results and the philosophy that I shared earlier around being the coach of choice. But more importantly, as soon as doors close to Thrive Group on the 15th, 16th, and 17th, so the 14th, 16th, and 14th, 15th, and 16th for my Europeans and Americans and Canadians, and anyone in South America too, you guys are going to be joining me in the strategy sessions. So, in the strategy sessions, we are setting your business fundamentals. Your business fundamentals are your offer and therefore your client, your price, and then your marketing and sales strategy, and your messaging. We are setting the key decisions in your business so that we have the rest of our time together over Thrive Group, the next 6 months, to actually get that in action, execute, and do it in a way that is calm on your nervous system, that is compassionate to the time and energy and capacity that you have to put towards your business, while really and truly stepping into your power, your potency, like finding your voice, finding your confidence, and really leveraging that. And I mean, I've just realized I wasn't thinking about actually talking about this, because you know what you're going to do and you know what you're going to therefore achieve. But I want to make it clear, when we work together, you're signing clients. You are going to make money. And the way that you make money is going to be in a way that means you know how to repeat it. You know how to do it again. I have a very specific process that I ask my clients to do when they sign a client so that they can capture the really important data around how they did that so that they can do it again. This stuff informs your strategy so that when you start looking and you start having actual data to work with, you actually have like clients and consults that you where you've signed people, DM conversations, where you're actually doing things in your business. You actually know how to reflect on that effectively and go, okay, this was working, this wasn't working, this is what needs to be changed. You will understand how your business operates, how to make money as a life coach. And when you know that, then it's a matter of executing it, becoming it, achieving it. And that's why we have 6 months together. Because frankly, in that time, you're going to fail. There's going to be a month, maybe two, where you don't sign a client. And you're going to be like, who you are in those moments dictates how quickly you sign a client again. This is the truth of it. And life is going to life at you. There's going to be illness. There's going to be life circumstances. There's going to be work if you're still in the 9 to 5. There's going to be kids. There's going to be family. There's going to be holidays. There's just going to be seasons where some seasons you're on one and other seasons where you're not. And how you navigate that, how you show up, how you claim it, how you don't lose sight of that 100, 150, 200K goal is what determines how quickly you get there. How quickly, whether, I said to you earlier, the clients who come to me and say to me, I want to do 10K months, but they also haven't fully correlated that that means becoming a 120K coach in your heart, body, and soul and skill level, then yeah, maybe that's a 2, 3 year plan. But also, we hold, and it's really important we hold the possibility, the magic, the miracle of what if you do step into that right fucking now? What is available to you if you capture that over and over again? What if that 2, 3 years becomes 6 to 18 months? Imagine that. So, this is the really exciting thing. It's a beautiful time to be in your business. It's a beautiful stage of business. And I just one of my mottos from last year was like, I'm just going to make sure I'm lusciously supported in my business at all times. I'm not interested in doing it alone. I'm already a fucking solo entrepreneur. I don't need to create any more challenge in it by trying to do something I've never done before without consulting with someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. So this is why my clients join Thrive Group. Like I say, we literally have a few days left for you to join at Founders Price. So jump in. If you have questions, drop me a DM. And if we need to, we can jump on a consult. I'm so happy to do that with you. It is not an issue. But if you know, get in, get jumping into those training modules so that you can do what you need to do, start talking about those client results straight away. And then we'll be jumping into the strategy sessions live together so that we can get those fundamentals in place. And we're going to have 6 months together to have fun building your business. So, thank you for joining today. Thanks for listening. I love doing these lives. So, expect to see more of me. And I'll see you inside Thrive Group. All right. Take care. Bye.